The Old Blood update has dropped, and with that we have our Phase 2 melee changes. They're calling it Melee Phase 2 technique, and with that there is quite a few changes for melee. So in this first episode of melee changes we are going to cover what is new, what has changed, and what's gone. So the first major thing is that the return of a regular melee state. If you hold your weapon swap, just like it used to be, you are going to go into full melee state. You can use the melee block is now manual. However, if you are still in the regular weapon state, you can still use quick melee for your quick melee weapon state, and when you hit the right mouse button in this state, you're back into primary in downsides. When you hold swap, you're in full melee state, and you hold the right mouse button, you will be in a full block mode. Now, full block is back and it's manual blocking. There is a buff that they give into block. Well, actually, yeah, the corrupted have gunner will do. So now, when you're blocking, every weapon has 100% damage resistance if you're blocking in front. The only thing that changes with the weapon is the angle that the enemy can be in front. So some weapons will have very small angle, some will have very wide angle block, but if you are facing enemies straight on, you have 100% damage resistance. You will see that some procs, like right now I have slash proc that went through, but my adaptation did not actually pick up any slash adaptation, which means I didn't receive slash damage. This is why I think this is probably a bug, or maybe just the way I'm standing on an incline. But this is another great thing, because you are able with blocking to completely fill your adaptation out. So you see I'm 90% resistant to that type of damage for my adaptation, and all you have to do is keep on blocking. And also for all of you that enjoy having warframes that go invisible, you can just hold melee in these states, all those stray bullets, or the bullets that your team kinda brings your way. You can block them at 100%, so you don't really have to be as tanky for those stray bullets as usual. Now, this also works with combo counter, and we're going to go into combo counter changes shortly, but I just want to show you. So if you're holding block, if you see on the bottom right, every successful block bullet adds to the combo counter. And yeah, it's very different now, and there's lots of changes. We'll go to that in a moment. I just wanted to show you that part. Another thing about melee states is that they are also available for exalted melee weapons. So let us go into an exalted blade for Excalibur. So currently we are in a melee state. You can block with it, regular hits, everything works the same. You press your weapon swap, so you have to take down a nullifier bubble or something, and then you can use quick melee, so you're in quick melee state. Go back, take down the nullifier bubble, or if you don't want to, just hold weapon swap, and same thing, you are in full melee and you can block with it. This is actually quite a big change, and I think it's a pretty good buff for all of the melees, and I really enjoyed the full melee state before and manual blocking, so I'm glad this is back. This is a very good thing. Okay, so after that, let's just go straight into stances and combos. This part is not going to surprise anybody, since we already have a preview on Wukong when it came out what was going to happen, but I'll show you anyways. So all of the melee combos are now standardized. There's going to be 4 different types of combos. 1, you just keep on hitting your melee button. 1, hold forward and keep on hitting your melee button. 1, hold forward and block and keep on hitting your melee button. And the 4th one is hold blocking, keep hitting your melee button. The only thing that changes is that some combos will have more hits in certain combos and less hits in another. So let's say we go from Cleaving Whirlwind to Tempo Royale, for example. You will see this one has extra hits here, 1 less hit here. So the only thing that changes is the amount of button presses, but not the actual way you accomplish these combos. So let's go back to Cleaving Whirlwind for a sec. So every weapon now, if it has all of the stances, one combo, let's go back into melee. So one combo, just mash your melee button. One combo style, forward and your melee button. And I wanted to show this because Broken Bull is so easy now to do, you don't have to time it perfectly. Another one is block. And forward and block, this is supposed to be their distance closing part of the combo. And some weapons will not have a full array of combos like this, but all of the combos that are now available are just those 4 types. And I think the reason why they did this is so you can now chain combos. So let's say I start with Broken Bull, but then I'll stop Broken Bull and go straight into this combo, then I want to close the distance with this. So you can stop combos after each hit animation to go into a different combo, which is pretty neat, but I mean, I'm not sure on some weapons that's going to be very useful because some combos you can just repeat the first part and that's what you want. But for heavy blades, and I do see that heavy blades have probably benefited the most out of these melee changes, for heavy blades this is going to be great. Now, charge attacks are gone. When you hold your melee button, there's no more charge attack. It's gone. I'm not sure if they're going to replace in Phase 3 charge attack with something else, but right now it does not exist. It looks like they have changed it now to a heavy attack, which is the same keybind as your channeling used to be, which by the way channeling is gone as well. So when you press your, what used to be channeling, you perform a heavy attack. All heavy attacks now have their own stats, so if you go into the weapon stats right here, it's quite extensive. You'll be able to see your heavy attack damage, which in this case is pretty decent. Wind up time, heavy slam attack, heavy slam radial damage, and heavy slam radius. So they have actually invested quite some time into developing this heavy attack. Right now, you have to play with it more to see more usefulness, but all the info is right here. And just to mention one thing, everything that used to increase the charge speed for charge attacks now increases the speeds up the wind up for heavy attacks. So, for example, like Amalgam Organ Shatter used to be charge attack plus 60. Now you're just going to speed up your heavy attack wind up time. So Killing Blow has actually received a bit of a buff. Now it's merely heavy damage attack bonus plus 60% heavy attack wind up speed. So with just these two things, if you're building for some reason for the heavy attack, this is now going to wind up much quicker. So let's go into melee state. You will see now it hits way quicker. I'm not sure if this is going to be a thing yet. I've got to play with a lot more weapons, melee weapons, to see if this heavy attack will be useful for much. But for now, there is certain status builds that it helps out with. Now, all of those things also lead up to a new lift status. So basically what they have done, let me just bring out some enemies here. We'll bring out some melee units, there we go. Some corrupted butchers. So now, if you are to perform a jump heavy slam attack, you are going to cause this lift status on all of the units around you. So lift status basically is like a minor CC that keeps them up in the air. But also, what you can do is use that to keep them in this lift status to continue on your combo, so you can kind of continue this CC a bit further and basically mobilize enemies a bit further. It will allow you to fight for longer without receiving damage. As I said, it's kind of a lift status, but not really a status, more like a CC, like a mini Rhino effect, or that exalted Exodia that gives that mini Rhino effect. I really wish that for this lift status they made them go up in the air slightly more, kind of up, instead of floating away. Like right now, you can lift them up and then add distance by hitting them. But I just wish for this lift attack, they just made them go up in the air, hang there for a second, and then if you want, you can add distance to them by hitting them instead of them only floating away. What you have seen there is a parasol thing, but we'll get to that in a moment. So these heavy slams, heavy attacks, and lift status, you can achieve them obviously with the heavy ground slam. Some combos have lift status built in. However, every time you use your heavy melee attack, you will use up all of your combo counter. Let me just show you this. Yeah, I can do the same anyways. So let's just build up combo counter here a little bit. So we are at 4 times combo counter. And now I use a heavy attack. And all of my combo counter is gone. It increases the damage of the heavy attack, but it does not increase the damage of regular attacks anymore. However, it does still work with things like Blood Rush and Gladiator mods to increase the critical damage of your regular attacks, even though that mod got nerfed. But we'll get into mod changes and new builds in a different episode. But just so you know, Blood Rush is still viable. So this combo counter, now the way it works, for every 20 hits it raises you up 1 level, and it maxes out 12, so you can get a 12 times multiplier. It works only for heavy attacks. Once you use it, heavy attacks completely depletes it, right? So if you are running a crit build with Blood Rush, you pretty much never want to use the heavy attack. This is why I'm really unsure why they have put so much work into it, because I'm pretty sure people will be sticking with crit builds now. And just to show you, I do have a simple 1 forma build for Graham here. So you can still see that you can get to those red crits by the time you reach 10 times the multiplier with just 1 Blood Rush and 1 Gladiator mod. We're gonna need a bit tougher enemies. Corrupted Heavy Gunners are the volunteers for today's show. There we go. Alright, let's go into Melee State. So, you will see now I'm just going to use Broken Bull a bit. The combo counter is already at 4, just like D says, it builds up much quicker. We are already at 7. You can see yellow crits, mostly. A little bit of orange crits are going to start showing up now. See orange numbers, and by the time you hit 10 to 12, you're going to see increase to red numbers, and it's going to become all orange and red. There we go. So we are now at 11. There are red numbers, pretty good red numbers. So as long as you don't press that heavy attack and ruin your max 12 combo, crit builds are going to be completely viable. However, here's a little tip. There is a new addition to this melee interaction and synergies between all the moves. If you hit dodge during any of your combos, so for example you're in a combo, or you're just about to start a combo, or you're heavily into combo, you press dodge, you get out of that combo without hitting. So even if you start a heavy attack, you can dodge out of it before the animation is finished. So if you accidentally press heavy attack, or you press heavy attack but then you realize, whoops, I shouldn't have done that, let's bring us some enemies. So this way you'll be able to save that combo, since for, crit builds obviously it's going to be useless to do heavy attack. So right here, I have my combo at 5, press heavy attack and roll out of it. Combo is saved. However, if I don't roll out, combo is spent. So just remember, new dodge can help you out with potential mistakes with heavy attack, especially if you're running a crit build. There is a new way now to build for status weapons, but we'll get into that in a different episode. Another thing about dodge, since we're already talking about it, let me just show you this. So, your regular dodge, just when you press your dodge button, okay, that for some reason went in the wrong direction. Okay, so regular dodge, it's going to be approximately 9 meters. But now, if you are in your melee state, you are holding block, right mouse button, you dodge again, you do now short dodge, which is going to be approximately 5.6 meters, so about 4 meters difference. D says that the reason why they have placed this short dodge is because it's supposed to be used to closing the distance in the combos, like kind of quickly close the distance while you're doing the combo or something. However, I'm not sure why wouldn't you just use your slide, but it's there if you want to use it. So just so you know, there's 2 different types of dodges, and the major thing that you want to use it is to stop the heavy attack from ruining your crit combos. Also, about the lift status. So I have shown you that lift status can be achieved. Let's get melee units so they can swarm you. So the lift status can be achieved just by going and using a heavy ground slam around enemies. They can combo them in. So jump, use heavy ground slam, not the regular ground slam. That was the regular. This is the heavy. So heavy will do lift status, and you can go just into comboing them. Now, you can also use certain hits on certain stances and weapons. Let's kill these enemies. So we'll quickly switch our weapon. We'll use Ball Prime for this. I'll just put nothing on it. There we go. So, since some weapons have it already built in, you don't need to waste your heavy attack on ground slam. You can just find out which of the combos on your stance causes the lift status. In this case, regular first combo for Ball causes the lift status, and then you can kind of minor CC and juggle these units while you're causing them damage. So, just test out your favorite stances and combos and see which one causes lift status or enough lift status, and just do it this way. No reason to waste your combo counter. And some of them, as you can see, they kind of get lifted pretty high, which is also, I guess, why they added this new addition. The air melee combo. Now, while you're in the air, instead of just jump and hit, you can actually use combos in the air. Now, not all combos available for air hits can do like the block or hold forward. From the stances that I have tested, it looks like these are only the first combos that are available. Like the first one where you just press melee without direction, but just in case you want to use it, it's there. And I mean, for boss stance, basically the first hit of the first combo, especially when you want to build it for speed, that one does a lot of lift status and large areas. So if you want to play with that, that's a good one to test it with. And the final thing that is quite new is Parazone. That is going to upgrade here. So Parazone is built into every single Warframe. So this looks like a small multi-tool, I guess, that can be used for selective finishers that do little damage. It will mostly be used for the Kua Lich system, and it has very limited modding capacity. So the top 3 mods is what you need to kill your Kua Lich. There is 8 different mods for this, but that's for a different video. And the upgrade mods, the only one that from old mods that made it into there was Intruder. They did say they're going to put covered lethality in here, but I guess they realized that since this does, fatal damage, or almost fatal damage, there was no need for covered lethality. So I guess there's going to be new mods to upgrade this. So now every time you go hacking, this thing will come out. You will put it into console and hack with it, and when you are killing enemies, Kuva Liches or Kuva Trolls, or Lich Trolls, or whatever they are, you will be prompted. So every time you use Parazone, the prompt will show up on an enemy. It's going to actually look like an image of Parazone. So see this image, just in a red outline, and you just select that. Instead of killing them, you select that to kill them. It'll kill them with Finisher, or in case of a Kuva Lich, right, it'll reduce them or turn them towards your side. But yeah, it looks like this system is still, the Parazone one is still in development. There's still more probably to come, since they have open mod slots for it, but not too many mods, right? But we'll see what happens. It's pretty fun to use it with hunting trolls to get information about how to assassinate your Kuva Lich. But aside from that, I don't see too much utility as of right now. So for this episode, we are just going to cover this. I don't want, the whole Melee videos to go too long. In our next episode, we are going to cover range and damage changes. And range, that's a huge change, and we're going to go through testing some of the weapons from how they were before. I have some old videos of ranges there and compare them to new ranges. And until then, click that subscribe button, help me keep this channel going, and I will see you in the next video, or stop by on my twitch.tv/newspec channel, and I'll see you there.